Most people don't actually know how to use ChatGPT properly. They use it all the time, and when they get answers back, it feels helpful, so they assume that's as far as it goes. But the way most people are using it pretty much guarantees average results. They ask ChatGPT a question, they read the answer once, and because it sounds reasonable, they just accept it and move on without really thinking about it. That's where things start to go wrong. I will show you exactly where most people go wrong with ChatGPT, and I will cover 4 ways on how to master it in this video. This is where most people mess up straight away because they get an answer back from ChatGPT. It sounds confident and well written. They trust it without really stopping to question how solid it actually is. So let me show you what I mean. Since this is an AI channel, let's talk about artificial neural networks. So let's say I'm trying to learn about artificial neural networks. I'll ask the model, explain what are artificial neural networks. Oh, I forgot the K there. Networks. As you can see, it's a challenge holding my microphone and typing with one hand. My Yeti mic has not worked this morning, so it's quite frustrating. So I'm dealing with this mic. So explain what are neural networks and how they work. Okay, so the answers come through. This is where most people stop. They read it once, it sounds reasonable, so they move on. But at this point, nothing has actually been checked. I don't know where this explanation has come from, what it's based on, or how confident the model even is in what it's telling me. Now look at this answer. Can I really trust it? Can I 100% take it to heart? First, I'll turn on web search. And then I'll ask, where is this coming from and what sources are you using? This follow-up is a verification prompt. I'm not asking for more information. I'm asking it to show how confident it is and what it's relying on so I can decide whether to trust it or not. Because now I can judge the substance instead of getting hypnotized by how clean it sounds. If I don't have search on, I'll ask it to criticize its own answer instead of asking for sources. That shift alone is what separates people who quietly get burned by AI from people who actually benefit from it. Because now I can actually go through and look at the sources that ChatGPT has provided. They've provided 2, 4, 5. They've provided 5 sources here. And they've gave a small explanation on how they structured the answer, which is perfect because this will allow me to trust the answer more. However, is this the answer I wanted? No, because it's quite generic and it's not answered my specific question about wanting to learn about artificial neural networks. But the information it's gave me is very broad and it seems scattered. It hasn't gave me an exact plan. It's very high level. It's not specific enough into what I want to learn. I don't like the examples. I've actually barely read through it. And I feel like this is not the best way in learning about artificial neural networks. So let's move on to section 2, prompt quality. Now that the answer is at least being checked, this is the next place people nerf themselves without realizing it. Because even when the model is working properly, the output still ends up feeling a bit mid. And the reason isn't the model, it's the way most people ask. Just look at what I typed earlier. I asked a very open question and received a very open answer back. And to be fair, that makes sense. If the question is vague, the answer ends up vague too. Not because the model can't do better, because it doesn't know what you're aiming for. So what happens is you get something that reads fine and technically answers the question, but it doesn't really help you think any better or move any further forward. This is where people blame the tool. They say ChatGPT is generic or it's just giving surface level answers. But the real truth is, you didn't give it enough to work with. You never told it why you're asking, what level you're actually at, or how you want the answer to be shaped. So it defaults to something generic. Now, watch what happens when I stay in the same chat, but slightly tighten the question. I'm not doing anything fancy here. I'm just giving it more of a direction. Okay, so I've just written the new question. Explain artificial neural networks to a data engineer who already understands basic machine learning concepts. I want to deepen my understanding of the maths behind artificial neural networks, especially things like matrix multiplication, gradients, backpropagation, and optimization. Structure this as a 1 week learning plan where I can spend about 3 hours per day studying and explain the concepts clearly without assuming I'm new to technical work. Wow, notice what's changed. I just stopped forcing it to guess. Look at this: day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, day 7. 3 hours per day. Wow, look at this. This is like the exact plan I asked for. Now it knows who it's talking to. It knows what I care about. And it knows how I want the answer to be shaped. So instead of a broad explanation like before that sort of floats around the topic, I get to learn something more targeted. Okay, so as a recap, section 1 was about verification, and this stops you from trusting wrong answers. Section 2 is about prompt quality, which we're currently discussing. This stops you from wasting your time on answers that are technically right but don't help. And even when you've done both properly, there's still one mistake that catches people out all the time. That's what we'll get onto next. Why are you so loyal to ChatGPT? It's not your girlfriend or boyfriend, and more importantly, it's not your barber. It won't sort you out like a fresh trim every time. Well, no, that's a bit irrelevant, but you see where I'm going with this loyalty aspect, right? Because, I'm loyal to a barber. Sadly, I'm not in a relationship, but, at least I could say I'm loyal to a barber. If you're only using ChatGPT, that's seriously a weak way of getting results. Even if you've asked a good question and verified the basics, trusting a single model is a gamble. I would never do that for anything that actually matters. I'm going to take the exact same prompt I just refined and paste it into a few different models. Same question, same context, and I'll make no changes. Okay, so let's paste the prompt. Scrolling up to it. You know what, I'm holding this microphone up the whole video. I'm really missing my Yeti mic. That's currently broken. So I'll paste this prompt into Gemini. I'll paste this prompt into Claude. I can't forget Grok. I know it's in the news recently for some madness, but we can't forget Grok. It's the most unfiltered model, and I've actually set the system prompts to being very brutal, like being a brutal critic. But maybe I just announced one of the next sections I'm going to talk about. Don't know why I just removed the E there. But yeah, then finally meta. You don't need all of these, 2 is enough. And straight away you can see what's happening. They're all answering the same question, but they lean in different directions and emphasize different parts of the problem. None of them are useless, none of them are perfect either. And this is the mistake people make. They think the goal is to find the best model. It's not. The goal is to stop relying on one perspective. So instead of picking a favorite answer and trusting it blindly, I bring all of these responses back into one place. Use these other 4 expert suggestions as well as your own to make a perfect, complete answer. Include aspects that are mentioned in all responses and leave out aspects that only show in one suggestion. I will number each response by a number, then following it will be a closing bracket. Okay, so what I do is I say 1 closing bracket. I will just copy the first one, the whole thing. I'll just paste it there. Then I'll do 2, which will be Claude's turn. Claude's looks very mathematical. Claude is very good at maths compared to the other models, and it's the best for coding. And then there's Grok, like I told you, it's very unfiltered. Look at that. No new theory, drill weaknesses. Let's actually look at Grok's prompt. If you half-ass the exercises, your AI brand will flop. Fix it or quit pretending. Nah, Grok is G. Okay, so let's copy that and paste it. I believe that's 3. And then finally, Meta. Wow, Meta's format's very different. It's a lot. Oh, it's gave a lot of sources as well. Yeah, it's very different. It's very concise. I don't even see. Okay, there's maths, weights, and biases example, but it's just equations, very broad. Like it's not that heavy in detail. So I guess this is looked at the plan from a more high level view. Um, Wait, it's not even letting me copy this. It's not even a suggestion to copy. Oh, it's stop response from generating. That's weird. Honestly, I don't use Meta that much. I just like it as a fifth opinion. So let's paste that in as number 4. And then obviously ChatGPT was number 5, but let's just double check that I mentioned that. Use the other 4 suggestions as well as your own. Okay, perfect. Now let's submit this. Error message, that's not good. Okay, let's see. Error message, that is not good for the demo. I think I've ran it 4 times. You can see at the bottom. I don't normally get this 5 times. Okay, in this case, let me just copy it and paste it again. Oh, I think it's because I've got the search still on. Let me take that off. Let's paste this and actually get the response. It shouldn't. Yeah, there we go. Thinking. So this will answer clearly now. So yeah, that's another thing with search. You need to be careful what you have on, because obviously if you press plus, there's all these different features, deep research, web search. I use web search and I use deep research the most. I don't really utilize agent mode yet. I use other tools for actually utilizing AI agents. Oh, here's the final plan. This is exciting. Look at these equations. So shiny. So as an overview, what ChatGPT has done is it's gathered the same themes from across the 5 responses, and it has basically provided me this master execution plan. So all these themes coming up would have been referenced in every single model, or most models. If anything came up in one model, it wouldn't be on here, which is great because that means you can truly trust this. This is 5 different LLMs, 5 different models that's giving their expertise opinion on what artificial neural network plan to follow. And also, at this point, I'm not comparing answers or weighing options back and forth. I've pulled a few different perspectives into one place. I've paid attention to what keeps coming up and let the rest fall away. What's left is something solid without me having to sit here and second guess it, which is really nice. I'm not trusting one model, but I'm not arguing with 5. There's different ways you can do this. You can obviously ask ChatGPT to say the differences, to say the similarities, and then you can go through. So it depends on how deep you want to go into, this model referencing, because you can ask, for example, like I said, list all the differences, list the similarities, create a table. You're using formatting, which is, part of the 3C formula, but let's not get into that. So if you format, that's prompt engineering. You can go deep and say, show me the differences, show me the similarities, and you can nitpick, aspects. Like you can say, create a table, and then you can say in one column, it could be in all 5 models. In one column, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then in 1, you can just ignore it. In 5, you can use that information. So there's so many ways to cross-check different models and come up with an answer. I prefer to do it this way because it's the quickest. Most of the time, I don't have time to sit there, cross-checking between different models manually. Sometimes it's best just to get all the responses from the different models, put it in one model and tell it to get the best response. I don't normally say, this is from Claude, this is from Gemini. I just say this is from an expert, like this is an expert's opinion, take this. But this is section 3, we're not finished. Even when you work like this, there's still one thing slowing most people down. You end up repeating yourself, re-explaining the same context, and resetting the tool every single time. Once you fix that, the whole process shifts again. That's the last piece. By now, the answers are better. You're checking what you get back. You're asking tighter questions. You're not just trusting the model blindly anymore. But there's still one thing that wastes a lot of time. Every time you open a new chat, you're basically starting from zero again. The model doesn't know who you are or how you like things explained. So you end up re-explaining the same background and preferences at the start of every conversation. This repetition adds up fast. Watch this. Even though I know what I'm doing, if I open a fresh chat and just ask the question straight away, the answer drops back to something generic. Like if I say, give me that artificial neural network 1 week plan, it shouldn't remember all the context from the previous chat. No, this is not the same. This is definitely not the same plan. It's completely different. And this can be frustrating because it's like, now I need to explain that I'm a data engineer. I need to explain that I'm not a beginner. And I need to re-explain myself every single time I open a new chat. This answer has dropped back to being something generic. And it's not because the model is bad though. It's because it has no context to work from yet. So instead of me saying I'm a data engineer, this is my technical ability, every time I start a new chat and giving it specific prompts, this is how I lock it in once. Okay, so you need to head to personalization. So you click on your name, bottom left, and you click on personalization, and you'll see your custom instructions. Okay, so I'm not going to expose all of my custom instructions, but out of curiosity, I did set this a while ago. Let's see what I've put. Take a forward-thinking view, get right to the point, use an encouraging tone, critical, provide constructive criticism, don't always agree with my points and validate my points or feeling. Don't always agree with my points and validate my points or feeling. Okay, let's get rid of or feeling. Points, comma, be a honest, brutal mentor that always says the truth, even if it hurts my feelings. Don't use this punctuation. I say don't use that because this is one way you'll get caught out for using AI, because AI loves to write things with perfect punctuation. But in reality, we don't really use that. Well, in the UK, we don't. As it sounds to AI, don't list and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, the reason why I'm talking about custom instructions is because this is where persistent memory lives, and this is where it's set. For this example, I actually removed all my system prompts on data engineering and my personal technical expertise because I wanted to show you how a new chat does not remember context from previous chats, but it does remember system prompts, because these system prompts basically cover every chat. So if you say, I'm a software engineer, I want to earn this much, here's my skills, these are my goals, it will be remembered in every chat. So if you're not writing system prompts in custom instructions, that's the final thing you need to change, because user prompts is all about verifying sources. It's all about prompt engineering. User prompts are very creative. You can get a lot from the model, and the user prompts is just all the basic things you write. It's the actual user prompts you type. System prompts, on the other hand, this is persistent. So whatever you put in custom instructions, it will be remembered across all the chats, which is cool. The answers stay aligned automatically. So overall, this is where the workflow speeds up, because every time I opened a new chat, I didn't have to say I'm a data engineer. I didn't need to say, give me advice in this way, be more brutal. Don't always agree with what I'm saying. These system prompts are so important because it reduces repetition. You don't always need to describe the person you are or the answer you want. This should all be in system prompts, and it will save you so much time. So if your custom instructions are empty, you need to change that. Most people stay average with ChatGPT because they trust the first answer. They ask vaguely. They rely on only one model, which makes no sense. Like I said, this is not your girlfriend, boyfriend, and it's not your barber. So why are you loyal to one model? The model can't give you this consistently. Yeah, but seriously, don't rely on one model. And people also reset context every time rather than just using system prompts. And this is not a ChatGPT thing. You can do this in all models. Gemini allows it. Claude allows it. When you're using an AI model, set system prompts because this would save so much time. Once you verify what you're given, tighten how you ask. Cross-check instead of guessing. And lock your context properly. You start to get ahead using ChatGPT. You're using the same tool as everyone else, but you'll be getting much better results. If this helps, I'm going to keep you accountable. Make sure you comment which fix you're going to do first out of the 4. Thanks for watching. It's Joshua. Again, if you enjoyed, make sure to subscribe, like, do all that stuff. I would have said dislike, but I think the dislike button was removed if you didn't like it. But yeah, like I said, these videos are super exciting to make. I'm a data engineer at a leading company and I'm really enjoying learning about data. But I think one of my purposes is to teach people about how to leverage AI because it's such a useful tool. And as we're in 2026 now, you have to leverage it for self-improvement. Like, there's so many ways you can enhance your life using AI. And that's my purpose. And that's something I really want to do. So I'm going to keep working hard. Obviously, in my job, I love doing data engineering and I'm learning so much. And it's basically building my foundation. But my purpose is to help people with AI. So if you align with that, if you want to, learn more, just hit the subscribe button and comment. Yeah, this was a fun video to make, but I'll see you guys in the next one. One video every week. I won't let you down. Bye bye.